Hey, this is Brett Green. Today we're going to show you how to change the IP address on an Invengo reader, or better yet, set it for DHCP, and then figure out what DHCP address it actually got after you turned it on. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get the demo software. You should have a CD with demo software on it. I'm running version 1.3.4, but 1.3.0 through whatever should work just fine. So we're going to connect to a reader that we assume is out of the box, and every Invengo reader comes with a 192.168.0.210 IP address. I made sure that my PC was set to a fixed IP address of 192.168.0.10, and I have an Ethernet cable directly connected to the reader. So I can hit connect here, and I'm connected to the reader. So you can hit configure here and see IP information, and you can change it here if all you want to do is change the fixed IP address, and then you can hit config to do that. So that's just changing the IP address. If you want to set it for DHCP, however, you have to go up to multi-reader up here in the top, double click on reader, click on advanced configuration at the bottom, and network communication. So there's a couple of things here that are very important. You can see here, this is where you would enable DHCP. But it's also very important for one of the methods that I'm going to show you to write down this MAC address. 001D781017FA is the MAC address of my 861 reader. So after we change the configuration, I can go into my router and verify the IP address. That's one method. So what I'm going to do here is enable DHCP and hit configure. I'm actually going to switch networks from directly connected to my laptop to my regular office network. So give me just a second. I'm switching cables, and I'm going to reset the reader, which should just take a few seconds. So I've disconnected the reader directly from my laptop, and I've connected it into the router in my office. So the network address should now be 192.168.1 something, but we don't know what that something is because we don't know what IP address the reader just received. So we can, with the demo program, we can go back here to the beginning, and we can, there's two ways to do this. I can look at the router, which I'll show you in a second, or I can connect using the serial connection, in which most people would need to have a USB to serial adapter, and then use the serial cable that comes with the reader to connect RS-232. So I've done that. I have a COM connection. The software is smart enough to figure out what COM port I'm using, and I'm using the Triplight Keyspan model USA 19HS, and this is in another video too about connecting to the reader, but that's what I use. So I connect to the reader here, and then just go over here to config, and I can see that the DHCP address that I've received is 192.168.1.110. So if I don't have a serial connector, how can I figure out what IP address I have? That's actually fairly easy, especially if you have a home network. You can simply browse to your router, and in which my case I'm using a Netgear router in my house. I can go over here to attached devices. It's going to ask me for my user ID and password. And then I can go to wired devices and look for the MAC address of 001D780117FA, and it's right here. And again, the IP address is 192.168.1.110. So if I go back into, that verifies what IP address I've received. If I go back into here and go back into multi-reader, connect to the reader, go to advanced configuration and network communications and turn off DHCP, it's going to reset the reader back to the original 192.168.0.210. So I can show you that by closing this, going back to single reader here and disconnecting. And then I'm going to switch back to the original network and reboot the reader. So I'm removing the cable from my office network, reconnecting the direct connection to my PC, and rebooting the reader. And as soon as the reader beeps and comes up, I can show you the connection. Should be any time now. There's the beep. We'll hit connect. We'll use TCP/IP, and we'll use the original IP address, and we are connected. So that's how you can manipulate the IP address on an Invengo reader and set DHCP and disable it and determine what DHCP IP address the reader actually received. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for listening.